Imagine a world where gods wage an endless war. Betrayal, vengeance, and ancient magic shaping the fate of the universe. A king is brutally murdered. His heir is raised in the shadows, preparing for revenge. And a ruthless enemy lurks in the darkness, waiting for the perfect moment to crush all hope. This isn't just a myth. It's the story of the greatest battle in Egyptian history. Horus, the symbol of justice, versus Set, the embodiment of chaos and destruction. But will light triumph over darkness? This legend holds secrets you've never heard before. So stay with us until the end, because this myth is more than just a story. At the dawn of time, Osiris, the god of the underworld, ruled Egypt alongside his wife, Isis. He taught people agriculture, laws, and civilization, earning the love and respect of all. But his brother, Set, the god of chaos and the desert, burned with jealousy. Set, the embodiment of darkness and disorder, could not stand to see Osiris so revered. Consumed by envy and rage, Set devised a sinister plan. He organized a grand feast, filled with gods, music, and the intoxicating scent of sacred incense. But this was not just a celebration. It was a trap. Amidst the laughter and revelry, Set suddenly raised his hand and with a deceivingly charming voice proclaimed, "Behold this golden sarcophagus. Who among us can fit inside it? Whoever does shall claim it as their own." Curious, the guests stepped forward one by one. Each tried to lie inside the sarcophagus, but it was always either too small or too large. Laughter and chatter filled the hall. And then, the moment Set had been waiting for arrived. With a warm smile, Osiris stepped forward. Unaware of the deception, he lay down inside the sarcophagus, and in an instant, Set's face twisted with wicked glee. With lightning speed, he slammed the lid shut. The echo of golden nails being hammered into place rang through the chamber. Osiris, horrified, struggled to escape, but it was too late. The sarcophagus, once a magnificent gift, had now become a deadly prison. Set and his allies, laughing cruelly, carried it away, heading toward the Nile. Osiris, trapped in utter darkness, his muffled cries lost inside the sarcophagus, his fate sealed. But was this truly the end of Osiris? Or did destiny have other plans for him? The death of Osiris plunged the world into sorrow, but no one grieved more than his devoted wife, Isis. Yet she refused to surrender to despair. Wiping away her tears, she set out on a perilous journey alongside her sister, Nephthys, a journey to find Osiris. For months, through endless nights and scorching days, they searched. Across deserts, through dense forests, and over raging rivers, they pressed on. And at last, on the distant shores of Phoenicia, they found the golden sarcophagus. But was this the end of their quest? Could Osiris truly return to life? Isis, not only the goddess of love, but also the goddess of magic, possessed a power unmatched by any god. In the stillness of the night, she placed her hands upon the sarcophagus, whispering ancient incantations. A warm breeze stirred, the stars trembled, and then Osiris opened his eyes. Yet this miracle was fleeting. Before death could reclaim him, Isis and Osiris shared a single, precious moment, one that would change the destiny of Egypt forever. For in that brief time, Isis conceived a child, Horus, the rightful heir to the throne. But darkness still lurked in the shadows. Set learned of Osiris's return. Enraged and consumed by vengeance, he devised an even crueler plan. He tore Osiris's body into 14 pieces and scattered them across Egypt. Could Isis once again bring hope out of the darkness? Would Horus one day avenge his father? Isis and Nephthys, grief-stricken yet unyielding, set out once more. But this time, their quest was even more difficult. They had to find the 14 scattered pieces of Osiris's body, hidden across deserts, rivers, and forgotten temples. With their magic, their love, and a patience that not even time could wear down, they recovered the pieces one by one. Carefully, they placed them together, as if trying to turn back time itself. But then, a heavy silence fell upon them. One piece was missing, the most important one, the symbol of life and fertility. But Isis was the goddess of magic. She would not allow anything, not even death, to break her will. With a spell more powerful than any god in Egypt could counter, she created a replacement and completed Osiris's body. Then, through ancient rituals, she mummified him and sent his spirit to the underworld, where a new destiny awaited him. Osiris was no longer the king of Egypt. He had become the ruler of the afterlife, but this was not the end. In the world of the living, a far greater threat remained. Set, the ruthless murderer, was still free. And now, the hope of Egypt rested in the hands of Horus, the child of vengeance and justice. From the very moment Horus was born, his destiny had been sealed. He had to avenge his father. But to defeat the cunning and ruthless Set, carrying the name of Osiris was not enough. He had to become the greatest warrior Egypt had ever seen. Under the guidance of Isis and the other gods, he trained relentlessly. He learned to strike with his sword like a thunderbolt, to wield magic that could destroy his enemies, and to command his mind like a flawless strategist. Every day was spent in rigorous training, every night in lessons, every moment preparing for the battle he knew would one day come. But Set was watching. He would not allow Horus the chance to take revenge. So, he struck first, while Horus was still a young boy. One night, a venomous serpent slithered into Horus's bed, silent, unseen, deadly. But just as the poison was about to strike, Isis raised her hands, spoke an incantation, and in an instant, the serpent turned to ashes. But Set did not give up. Disguised as a stranger, he tried once more, this time, to poison Horus himself. The venom seeped into the young boy's body, but Isis, with her magic, saved him once again. Horus survived and grew stronger than ever. Now, he was no longer a child. He was a warrior, ready for battle. But Set was more cunning than anyone could imagine, and the battle that would decide Egypt's fate was drawing near. Horus and Set, two opposing forces, clashed on the battlefield again and again. Each battle was fiercer than the last, each strike more decisive. Thunder roared in the sky, the earth trembled beneath their feet, and the gods watched from afar as this legendary duel unfolded. In one of these battles, Set transformed. He was no longer the cunning god, but had become a terrifying giant. With a mighty roar, he charged toward Horus. But Horus was ready. He gripped his spear tightly and hurled it with all his might. But Set was faster. Before the weapon could strike, he raised his claws, and in an instant, he destroyed one of Horus's eyes. Pain, darkness, rage! Horus fell to his knees, clutching his wounded eye. But this was not the end. Thoth, the god of wisdom and magic, came to his aid. Raising his hands, he whispered an ancient incantation, and carefully restored the shattered pieces of Horus's eye. A divine light pierced through the heavens, and Horus's eye was healed. But this eye was no longer just a part of him. The eye of Horus became a symbol of power, protection, and healing. A mark of a battle that was far from over, because the true battle was still ahead. A battle that would change the fate of the gods, of Egypt, and perhaps the entire world. The moment of destiny had arrived. Horus and Set, eternal enemies, faced each other in their final battle. The earth trembled, the sky darkened with Set's fury, and violent storms raged across Egypt. But Horus did not retreat. This was the moment he had trained for his entire life. Suddenly, Set transformed once more, this time into a monstrous beast, darker than the night, larger than any creature the world had ever seen. With a deafening roar, he lunged at Horus with his razor-sharp claws. Horus, fearless and unstoppable, fought back with all his weapons, blades of fire, ancient magic, even thunder itself. But Set evaded every attack. He was fast, ruthless, and terrifyingly cunning. But Horus had a secret weapon. In the midst of the chaos, he raised his hand to the sky. A spear shimmered in his grasp. Not just any spear, but a weapon infused with the powerful magic of Isis. A weapon forged for one purpose: to end Set's reign once and for all. With one final surge of strength, Horus hurled the spear straight into Set's heart. A deadly silence fell over the battlefield. Then, a piercing roar shook the heavens. Set collapsed to his knees, his power fading, his darkness unraveling. But this was not the end. Set was not completely destroyed. The gods banished him to the deserts, where he would wander for eternity. But in the whispering winds of the endless sands, a chilling murmur of vengeance can still be heard. Will he return one day? The fate of Egypt had been decided. After a long and decisive battle, the gods convened a divine court of justice. All awaited the final verdict. Who was worthy to rule Egypt? And at last, the gods delivered their decree. Horus, the son of Osiris, the rightful heir and the symbol of justice, was declared the new pharaoh of Egypt. But what about Set? Exile. The gods banished him to the scorching deserts, ensuring that he could never again threaten Egypt. But Set was never truly destroyed. He remained the eternal symbol of chaos and darkness.